Episode 1, fake accounts, eh? I've had a crazy week since we started looking at them. I haven't been able to stop seeing them online. How's your week been?
It's the same as well.
Just fake accounts everywhere?
Everywhere.
Well, it's a good job we've got 5 more problems to solve to unhack the great hack. Shall we meet 5 minutes, our new secret meeting spot, to discuss the next problem?
See you there.
See you there, Sophie. Well, I'm glad we made it here, but let's not make the same mistake we did last time. Should we get some drinks first?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. Where's Adonis? Adoni!
Yes, please, I'm right here. How can I help you?
Ένα πορτοκάλι χυμός και ένα iced tea παρακαλώ.
Right away, man.
Thank you, Adoni. He's very useful.
Very useful.
Yeah. So we have the mystery boxes are back.
Yes.
There are 5 more problems.
And it's your turn to pick one.
Is it?
Today.
Oh my God. I don't know which one to pick. It's like, I feel like Noel Edmonds in Deal or No Deal. I'm going to go with this one. Okay. I've got a fact here about children online, social media. So 3 and 4 children have a social media account between the ages of 8 and 10 years old.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of really young people with social media.
Yeah.
And I know that this has been your area because you've been doing some research on this. I know fairly little. So children online, 3 and 4 children have, between ages 8 and 10 have a social media account.
Yeah.
What are the typical types of problems that we're seeing? What's the state of play?
Well, I mean, firstly, I'd say from that statistic that clearly kids want to be using.
Yes, Adonis.
Yay.
So
Peach is for you?
iced tea is actually for me.
It's for you.
Peachy, that's for me. Peachy. Thank you.
Cheers, you.
Thank you.
Cheers, you guys.
Thank you very much. Tasty. Oh, look at that. It comes in a can. So children, online, social media.
So clearly kids are using social media, they're using the internet, and they should be, right? Because we live in the digital world now and they should have access to all the resources that are online.
Yes.
Just as adults do.
If you're a kid and you don't have a smartphone at school, then you're gonna be left out, right? I know that wasn't the case when I was at school, but
Me neither, but it is nowadays.
It is
right?
nowadays. That's okay.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of inappropriate content online for kids, and this isn't just stuff that is illegal, but it's just things that make kids feel uncomfortable or upset.
Okay.
So kids need safe spaces and they need guidance when they use the internet.
Okay.
So there's actually an organisation that I've been reading a lot about that's doing a lot of work in this area.
Awesome.
It's called the 5 Rights Foundation.
Five rights.
5 rights.
Okay.
So they advocate for 5 rights for kids online.
Oh, that's convenient.
So I thought we could talk about those rights now.
Okay, yeah, that sounds really good. So 5 rights for digital literacy, like for children online, that they
Yeah.
should have specifically.
Exactly.
Okay, that's different to adults or.
Yes.
Okay.
With kids in mind, right? So kids' needs and their development.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so what are these rights?
Okay, so the first one is the right to remove.
The right to remove.
So,
Okay.
have you ever posted something online that you later wish you hadn't put there?
No. yes, I have, obviously.
Obviously,
Okay.
right. Can you imagine if you'd have the same access to the internet now that you had when you were younger, right?
No, that would be awful. Oh my God, the things I would have posted as
Yeah.
a 10-year-old.
So
would have
when your
been-
judgment isn't quite what it is when you're an adult, you might post things you later regret, you're embarrassed about.
Okay.
Okay, and I also imagine that the implications that could have later on in life, because kids do worry about stuff they post online now affecting their job prospects in
Okay.
the future. So the right to remove is all about being able to easily remove the content that you yourself put online.
Okay, brilliant. That sounds sensible. Kids should definitely have that right.
Exactly.
Okay, what about, so we should definitely have that ability.
Yeah.
What's next?
So next is the right to know.
Yeah.
So this is about the right to know who is asking for your data, what they're doing with it,
Okay.
and why.
Okay. So using social media platforms like Facebook right now, they don't give you any really easy controls to understand who has your data and where.
No.
You can request a subject access request that gives you a 100-page document of everything that
Yeah.
you own, but that's not for the normal people to digest.
No,
It's
and
not built for
even
kids to
their
understand it.
privacy policy, right? That's not built with kids in mind specifically.
Okay. So kids that are using Facebook don't really have any idea about what Facebook's data practices are because, one, they can't really understand, they're too young to understand them. 2, they're not presented to them in an easy to understand way.
Exactly.
And 3, those types of advertisers and content providers on that platform tend to make Facebook a more profitable space. So the incentive to create controls for children isn't there on Facebook's side, and they've deliberately not done it because presumably it's profitable to sell things to kids, because kids have parents with money, and if kids go to their parents and say, can you buy me this please, like, it's, if I'm a parent, it's, you go, yes, because I love you and you're my child and I don't want you to hate me. And so that direct line.
Well, maybe we should talk about your parenting in another episode.
I'm just thinking about, because I know a lot of friends in advertising and marketing, right? And the children's market is incredibly lucrative because that emotional pulse, that emotional sway that children have over their parents is incredibly powerful. And ultimately, there are people out there who can turn that into money.
And it's hard enough for us as adults to know what Facebook is doing with our data in terms of advertising.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea, and I've been doing this for 4 years. I have no idea what they're doing with my data. So even harder for children. Okay, so that's the second right. What? Okay, third right.
Okay, so the third right is the right to safety and support.
Safety and support.
So I mentioned this briefly earlier, but you can imagine that there's a lot of content online that isn't really appropriate for kids and actually makes them quite upset.
Okay.
So imagine you're a kid on YouTube and you're watching videos and you go down that algorithm hole.
I've been down that hole many times. It's not pretty what you find. There's a lot of Nazi stuff at the end of the hole. I would call it a Nazi hole.
Exactly right. So kids need support when they use the internet. So if they are confronted with inappropriate content, firstly, they need support to help them deal with that.
Yeah.
And then secondly, they just should have a safe space to actually use the internet where they're not going to interact with this
safe
sort of
space
material.
is no exposure to inappropriate Nazis, knowing when you accidentally wander into a Nazi stronghold that you're there. Brilliant. Okay, fourth right.
So the right to digital literacy.
Digital literacy.
Yeah. So
I'm not digitally literate, so you're going to have to explain this right to me.
So this is about, so obviously we live in a digital world.
Yes.
You can access a lot of useful information on the internet. You can learn a lot. You can be a creator. You can code. You can create a website, create a game.
Okay.
So kids should be able to access the internet and know how to use it so that they can benefit from that.
I like that. And that fits into the reason we have curriculums at school is so that children can access a wider variety of information, understand what it is they're consuming, and understand kind of which actors have their best interests, and to ultimately accelerate their personal development. And that is a really important thing for our children. And if we allow that process to be compromised at any point for teachings to be untaught during the process, then that sounds like we should do something about it. Definitely. Right, so that's 4 rights, and those are 4 pretty big rights. What's the 5th?
So the 5th is the right to conscious use.
Conscious use. Conscious use.
So this is about knowing how you're using the internet. So if you think about apps like Facebook and Instagram, they're made to be addicting. They're made to hold your attention and keep you on there as long as possible.
Facebook is really addicting, and I find myself just scrolling forever. It's just, there's an endless scroll of content that I just want to consume, and it's all number tailored for me.
It's made to keep your attention, right? Attention is the currency of the digital
Attention is the currency
world.
of the digital, and money, but attention number 1, and then money second.
Yeah. So if you imagine how hard it is for you to disengage from this content, imagine being younger, not having developed all your mental capability to switch off.
All of my willpower to break out of
exactly.
all of the scrolling, which I had less of when I was a child, obviously.
So imagine how hard it is for kids to disengage from apps that are made to keep their attention.
And imagine, do you remember the sugar high, the E number high you get from Haribo as a kid?
I know you love Haribo.
I love Haribo, but imagine on that high scrolling content, it would you would be there for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Okay, so that sounds like a major problem because if kids' attentions are distracted, if they are being exposed to malicious and compromised sources of information, then their ability to concentrate on their own personal development path through the education system, which is what ultimately provides people equal access to opportunity, that's a potential weakness that could be railroaded. So what do we do about it?
So actually, I've been working on something quite interesting, which I'd like to show you.
Oh, this is great. You have a solution. We have a solution.
I do have a solution.
All right, we have a solution. Can I have a look at that solution?
Definitely.
Yes. All right, let's have a look.
So this is the Joyn feed.
The Joyn feed.
Which you might be familiar with.
I've seen some of it. I have seen some of it.
But what I want to show you today is the content controls that we have in the feed.
Okay.
So you can tailor the type of information that you want to consume.
Okay, so the conscious use, the right to conscious use.
Yeah, to know what you're consuming and why and
Okay.
for what purpose. Right, so if we go up here into manage feed,
Brilliant.
so cute bear, right?
Cute bear, Socrates, the bear.
Yeah, so what we've got here are different archetypes for, let's say, the type of person that you want to be, because the information that you consume ultimately dictates what sort of person you're going to be, right? Would
Yep.
you agree?
I agree, yeah.
So we've got a number of different bear archetypes here that you can choose from.
Okay, let's have a look. So we've got
So
Socrates.
Socrates seeks the truth about the world. So Socrates is interested in news.
Okay.
So if you see here, 25% of Socrates' feed is made up of news, journalism, science, and research.
Okay, brilliant.
If you're more interested in business and enterprise, you could pick Oprah,
Okay.
business bear.
Business bear Oprah, I like
Yeah.
that.
Or, okay, Prince. So Prince is interested in entertainment.
Okay, so like social influencers, artists,
Exactly
musicians.
right.
So more of their
Yeah.
feed will be artists and influencers. And if you're
Exactly.
interested in news and journalists, you choose Socrates. Do
Exactly.
you have any more? Which are the other ones we have?
So we've got Nelson.
Nelson.
Now, Nelson is interested in making the world a better place.
Okay.
So 60% of his feed is social causes, movements, and charities.
Okay, brilliant. It's like Amnesty International and
Yeah.
Oxfam, etc. Brilliant. Okay, and then so I like the bears, but what if I don't like any specific bear?
Well, then we give you the option to customize your feed even more.
Okay, that sounds really convenient.
Right, so if I just click down here, customize Socrates.
Yes. Look at that.
So,
Beautiful
yeah.
sliders.
Now we've got these sliders and I can tailor my feed exactly to the type of content I want to consume.
Okay, and so it just looks here that you're encouraging balance, right? So what you're saying is, as a child, specifically consuming different types of information is important. Facebook and Instagram is made to be addictive, so what they do is they kind of send children down these algorithmic holes where their
Exactly.
entire information ecosystem is dominated by one specific type of provider, because that's the most profitable way for Facebook to operate.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is we should give people control over their information, and people should have a balanced information supply, because people want to be balanced people, and it's really important for kids to be able to have a bit of balance in the information they consume if they also want to be balanced people. So what you're saying is about balance, really, isn't it?
It is about balance.
It is about
and
balance.
about knowing what you're consuming and having control over that. And currently Facebook doesn't give you that control.
Okay, so children online. It seems that right to conscious use permeates the four other rights to a degree, because if you can take active control over the information that you're provided with, then your ability to know who's providing that information, the ability to easily see and request that information, it seems that those rights would be a lot easier to exercise once you give people this norm of, look, we expect you to manage the information you supply yourself when you're sober, not relying on an algorithm to decide what information is best served to you.
Exactly.
That is a genius solution. I'm very happy with that work, Sophie. So I'll give
Great.
you 1,000,000 raises. Yay! All right. Next time then, I guess, we'll come back. We've got, what, 4 more to do?
4 more, yeah.
4 more? All right. Should we take a break and then do another one?
Yeah.
Okay. See you on the other side. Join social media. Awesome.